Thank you. Shifting slightly, there's a lot of skepticism of the role of the United Nations among South Koreans. We've just talked about part of that. How do you address the concern that the UNC does far more to constrain South Korea than North Korea, and how it maintains the armistice? And we'll start with General Scaparrotti, please.
Well, I think first of all, part of this was the revitalization with Vince in particular in his time period, talking about UNC, its role, and how it plays in these, in the daily activities. I think it's a matter of information that is helpful in that. From a ROK viewpoint at times, because of also the role of the military committee, et cetera, in investigating any conflict or problems along the DMZ, it was often looked at that way, particularly within a ROK military. But that was a very specific and finite part of its mission, and part of our reason for the revitalization and beginning to talk about UNC is the capacity it has to do much more. Going back to the other questions, I would just say that, one of the things I learned in NATO as well, but I knew in Korea, is while, multinational organizations like this, like the UNC or alliances, are complex because of many nations taking part in it. My observation is in the process of leveraging those nations, you generally get a better outcome, whether it's planning, et cetera. And so what they bring to bear in support of peace and setting conditions for peace, et cetera, within the peninsula, I think are very important and shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah, JD, can I jump on that and
join
Scap's comment? I think Scap is right on target there. That international role of being able to pursue peace is a critically important role. And UN Command is an enabler to that. So I picked up the monthly roundtables with the UN sending state ambassadors and supporting state ambassadors that you had in place and that your predecessors also had, but it was particularly alive during your time, and we built on that. And that became a very important venue for those countries to have a perspective of the military conditions on the peninsula. The meetings are convened by the UN commander. So it's a military commander requesting the ambassadors of those countries that were sending states or supporting states to come and join in conference every single month. And update is provided to them about how UN Command sees the situation and what it looks like from a military perspective. I can tell you that was a really important, truly vital role that UN Command played during the uncertain times of 2017. And indeed, it had some of the originating effect of the Vancouver dialogue, which occurred in the early winter months of 2018, February 2018, late January to February 2018. That was reflective of the same kind of dialogue. So this international dialogue that says both, hey, North Korea, you got to knock it off. You're getting our attention. And also the importance of the international community emphasizing the preservation of armistice and achieving conditions of peace. Both of these are very important, and they were enabled by United Nations Command. Let me make one last comment here, JD, about this sense of tension and whether UN Command is a constrainer or an enabler. I would submit to you that the season of summitry that really opened in 2018 and carried into 2019 was absolutely enabled by UN Command. The authorization first to conduct non-public meetings, quiet meetings that opened the channels of dialogue. It was US and North Korea, South Korea and North Korea. UN Command said yes to those things to enable that, to enable dialogue to occur. It ultimately became exchanges of large delegations, exchanges of Olympic team members. The Olympics themselves emerged. I'm not suggesting UN Command is responsible for the Olympics, but I am suggesting that UN Command was an enabler to the Olympics and to the summits, even down to the physical conditions that happened in Panmunjom for the very first summit between President Moon Jae-in and leader Kim Jong-un. The physical things that had to be done there were enabled by UN Command in partnership with the Republic of Korea and the South Korean government. So this is an important relationship. It's an enabler. It has succeeded in enabling multiple times, and it can make a difference as we try to move forward.